So now that the drawing is ready, next thing we have to do, just like the first station, we have to put this in a proper like a title block and then start plotting this. So I'll start drawing a rectangle around it and then putting my information in it. I use a rectangle tool. Now I am comfortable. I don't use line, so I just go with the rectangle. And for the first point, I will use 0 and what happened? Rectangle. I'm gonna go with 0 and tab 0. If in any of that case, for example, when you're putting your first corner, you by accident put the first information wrong, you can use a tab, and that's just kind of switching back and forth between these two dimensions. So it's gonna be 0, 0. And then all of a sudden we go all the way up, and that's going to be, so I already calculate that, so I imagine that it's going to be on the letter size. The letter size is 8.5 by 11. Then I multiply that by 35 basically, and convert that number again to feet. So I calculate that, and if I wanted like a scale, like a letter size to be in a feet, when you are doing it in a scale of like a 35, then that's going to be something around 385 feet on one direction and 297.5 feet in other direction. So there is two conversion here. One is that converting 8.5 inch to 8.5 feet, which is 12, and then multiply that number by 35 to get to these two numbers. So these two numbers getting from that. So our actual scale will be something around each 1 inch basically is equal to 35 feet. So then I will press enter, and let's draw a very nice rectangle around this. Next thing that you have to do is just put in your information, the text, that what is this assignment, what is the information. If you feel like you want to add any other information except the dimension, don't worry about the dimension, we get to the dimension. But if you want to add any other information here, just feel free to do that. And then after you're done, we are going to this plot menu. So for going to the plot menu, as we mentioned, you can just go with Control P, or you can click a plot from the top quick access menu. So I'm going to go with Control P, and this brings this menu. You are familiar with that. So for the printer and plotter, we're going to use the Adobe PDF, the paper, it's a letter. We want where we want to plot. We already know we're going to draw a window, so we're going to draw a window from here and here. So that's going to be my window. I'm going to put it center, and I'm going to do the preview. It's nicely placed in my paper. Get back here. The only problem that it is that it's still like some sort of a and it has some associated color. I don't want to have the color, so I'm going to go here and then change this one to AutoCAD. This is plot style table. The plot style table is gonna define how my line or how the different layers is gonna be printed on the paper. I'm gonna decide AutoCAD. Usually when you go to different offices, other than this like a default value, the default settings, there are some like a default plot style for a specific, like for example offices or something, so you can ask for that, and then everything, I mean, this goes with the template that they already create, so all the layering style is going to work well, and then when you plot it, it's going to be, if the drawing is nicely placed in the correct layer, it's going to be plotted in a right format. So then in order to change the AutoCAD, if you want to change edits, you have to go to the edit. For this drawing, we want to make sure that everything's going to be in black. So I'm gonna scroll all the way down to color 250, and then select that, press shift and click on the end. So click on the top, scroll all the way down, and then press shift. And then when you have that, then you just change this to black, make sure it's black. Since we already defined the line weight, some of them already have the line weight. So I'm gonna change this one. Use the object line weight. So use the object line weight. This is if you wanted to manipulate like for example one specific color here, you can do that, but usually because we already set it up in our layer style, we don't need to do that. Then we're gonna go with the line end style. We can use a different line style if you want. I never use any of these menu. I usually work with the line weight, which is very important, line type that I already set it up in layer, and the screening is, it means that the transparency of that specific line weight. So you're gonna keep that, and then the rest we're gonna keep it as it is. And by the time, I mean, sometimes you wanna, for example, I don't know, you have like a specific drawing that you want to choose, for example, keep this green as green, and you want to print it as green, then you just go over here and then choose the color, or just whatever object color that you want. I mean, whatever color, select color that you want, and you can put that as a color for that specific layer. So you can do it by one, you can go it for all, you can do it by select multiple of them and then change the value of that. So you have this option, and then you're going to save and close it, and then let's go back to the preview. And as you can see, if I zoom in, all the line weight is like basically nicely in place. So the center line is very nice in a thin format. This one is like a highway one, and then the other one is like in a medium format. So if you feel you need some description, I would highly recommend that you go and put the description. For example, this is a property line, this is like a drainage, and this is a road. So then everyone will look at the map, understand that okay, which line type represent what. We usually, when you're looking at the different drawings, they have this. I mean, for the comments, like for example, hidden line, or like a, I don't know, wall section, wall lines, or furniture, they don't put. But something that is not very common, like for example, I don't know, this line, what does this mean? Is it like a, I don't know, is it water, or is it drainage? You don't know it unless there is like some sort of a legend right beside this drawing that draw this line, and then after that line it says, for example, whatever the drainage line is. So we're gonna press escape, getting out of this, and we already discussed many of the feature here. Right now we're gonna keep it as a plot scale, again same as what it was before. So if I want to be correct, if I change that, like for example, I'm going to keep it as a fit to paper at this moment, but for the next assignments, that I mean assignment 3 and 4, you figure out how we're going to change this fit to scale in a very right format, so it's not going to be like a random number here. And then, as I mentioned, if you want to keep this setting for this specific drawing, you apply it to the layout, and then pressing OK, and then save this file in the right place with the right name. I already told you have to put the assignment name, the section, and your name as well. So let's say I'm going to keep it as a septic file, and I'm going to put assignment 2 septic file, and it's going to be my name, Farzin, and save it, and then open this up. Here we go, beautifully set up with the correct line format and everything. About the legend, usually what I do is that, I mean, I will go here and then start drawing that specific line, and let's say like that, and then put it, for example, on the drainage, and then using a single text line, and then place it over here. And then start, for example, this is pressing enter, and that's gonna give me the description of that specific line. I mean, maybe make this a little smaller, something. And that's basically when someone look at my drawing, you see that different line type, and then see that, okay, that specific line means, like for example, the drainage, or this line is going to be a property. So people get a sense about the different type of line in your drawing set.